What's up, folks? Welcome back to Tactical Tours. My name is Trevi, and today I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. I'm going to be trying what I'm calling a 5-minute Batrep, where I take a game I've played on Tabletop Simulator recently and speed it up to ludicrous speed. In some of my other battle reports, I've done something similar, but this time around, the goal is to keep the video under 5 minutes so you can get in and out and get that sweet info as quickly as possible. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get into this game. So in this game, I was playing my Tyranids and playing a bit of a strange build that I'm trying to make work in 9th edition. This is a single battalion list entirely from High Fleet Leviathan. The list consists of 3 HQ choices, a Neurothrope, the Swarmlord, and a Tyranid Prime with just 2 Scything Talons, no gun on that guy, as well as 2 units of Warriors with 3 Venom Cannons each and 2 Scything Talons in each Warrior, trying to keep them as absolutely cheap as possible, as well as 1 unit of Ripper Swarms just to fill out the rest of the detachment. We also have 2 units of 5 Zoanthropes, as well as 3 Tyrannofexes with Axis Sprays. The hope with this list is that it's resilient enough with the 6+ ignore from High Fleet Leviathan, and most of the list being Synapse creatures, as well as the Tyranid Warriors getting the Adaptive Physiology for enhanced resistance, so they ignore AP 1 and 2 to be difficult to kill, and the Zoanthropes just having a 3+ invulnerable save all the time. Everything in the list would be difficult to take out, and everything could be double moved up the table with the Swarmlord to get onto objectives as quickly as possible. A little bit of a synergy in there with the Zoanthropes as well is that with Zoanthropes, you can easily chain them back to the Swarmlord because they're below 6 models. They can cast their Super Smite for 2d3 mortal wounds, and then Swarmlord can Hive Commander them in the shooting phase to get out of dodge. A little bit of a fun interaction as well is that you can use Hive Commander to fall back out of melee, and you can do so after the Psychic phase, which allows you to cast Psychic spells and fall back in the same turn, which almost no other faction in the game can do. Very exciting for Tyranids. My opponent for this game was playing Aeldari and took 2 detachments, a single Spearhead of Craft World Eldar using the standard custom Craft World with expert crafters and masterful shots to deal additional damage with their ranged attacks. That consisted of 2 Falcons with Star Cannons and their Pulse Lasers, as well as far as here, Skyrunner, and 3 support weapon platform units with 3 Vibro Cannons each for a total of 9 Vibro Cannons on the table. The second detachment in the list was from the Somber Sentinel's Harlequin Mask, allowing each of the models in it to fight or shoot on a 4+ after they die. That consisted of a Shadow Seer and a Troop Master, as well as 2 troops with 5 fusion pistols each of just 5 players. Both of those were mounted in Star Weavers. We also had a Death Jester and Solitaire bringing up the elite slots, as well as 2 5-man Skyweaver units, 1 kitted out entirely with Haywire cannons, and then 1 with full Zephyr Glaives. We were playing the Retrieval mission for this game. My opponent and I both picked the specific mission's secondary objective, minimize losses, as well as bring it down. I was playing the Attrition secondary objective, given that my list was focused so hard on staying alive, whereas my opponent took the Psychic Ritual secondary. My opponent won the roll to go first and elected to take the first turn. He blitzed forward with his Solitaire, as well as running his Zephyr Glaive equipped Sky Weavers across the table. Shooting did significant damage to one of my Tyrannofexes, and the Sky Weavers and the Solitaire charged in. Sky Weavers into a unit of Warriors on the top right-hand side of the screen, and the Solitaire into some Zoanthropes behind the forest in the center. However, some bad rolling from the Star Weavers left only 1 Warrior dead, and the Solitaire was only able to kill 1 Zoanthrope while the Warriors killed a Sky Weaver in return for their insolence. In the early part of the game, I was able to clear out most of my opponent's aggressive units, killing the Solitaire in the Psychic phase, as well as shooting down one of his Sky Weaver units. The other Sky Weaver unit then charged into my remaining Warriors, but wasn't able to kill more than a single one of them, the Warriors being so resilient against the Zephyr Glaives and just their normal punching attacks. I was able to deal a little bit of damage at range with the Venom Cannons from the Warriors, as well as smiting from the Zoanthropes before pulling them back to safety with the Swarmlord's ability, but because of my opponent's range superiority, wasn't able to get the Tyrannofexes into range until round 2. Using Falcons and Vibro Cannons, my opponent was easily able to kill 2 Tyrannofexes, but the third one fired with Pathogenic Slime, being able to stand still and shoot its Acid Spray 2 times, and one-shot one of the Falcons. My opponent's early aggression allowed me to take out his fast units almost immediately, but I didn't have a great answer to his long-range guns like the Vibro Cannons and the Falcons, and because of the setup of the Retrieval mission objectives, we ended up trading points for most of the game, almost all 4 rounds on primary objectives. By round 3, my opponent's Harlequin troops were able to get stuck in, dealing significant damage to the Swarmlord and killing off the last of my Tyrannofexes. And on the final round of the game, my opponent was able to kill my Warriors by the bottom right objective and charge his last remaining Harlequins into my home objective in my deployment zone, contesting that and leaving me only on 1 objective for 5 primary points on the last round of the game. My opponent was also able to score Psychic Ritual 3 times during the game to get his max 15 points for that secondary between his Farseer and his Shadowseer, but stumbled a little bit on Bring It Down and Minimize Losses. Because of the MSU style of the Aeldari list, I was able to have killed a lot of the individual units by the end of the game, only scoring him 5 points on minimized losses to my 10, and leaving the final score at a close 71-69. My opponent's early aggression and allowing me to kill the Skyweavers early was a big boon in my opinion, and stopped those units from being able to harass me later on in the game. However, my opponent's range superiority stopped me from getting to his objectives very easily because he was quickly able to kill almost anything that broke cover and moved up to his side of the table. That said, the secondary objectives were in my favor, with minimized losses scoring me 10 points, attrition scoring me the max 15, and I was still able to squeak 11 by on Bring It Down by killing a single Falcon, some Skyweavers, as well as 2 Vibro Cannon platforms. This was an interesting game to play between two factions that I'm not sure are going to see the top level of competitive play in 9th edition 40k, but it is interesting to see the builds that are coming out of the 9th edition format. I hope everybody enjoyed this style of battle report, something a little bit different, and something that I'd like to continue doing in the near future, just to chronicle my games of 9th edition 40k, and put more games out there for the community to analyze so that we can get a head start on the 9th edition 40k meta. I'd also like to hear what you have to say about the format of the video. If you have any feedback or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. As always, if you enjoy my content, please consider giving a like and a subscribe and checking me out on Patreon at patreon.com/tacticaltaurus. I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons for supporting me and getting all sorts of cool benefits in return, including early access to public videos, exclusive patron-only videos, and early access to T5S2 tournament pods. Speaking of T5S2, the T5S2 Season 1 Invitational begins on August 3rd, and the invasion will be fully televised, showcasing some of the best competitive 9th edition 40k games between the best virtual 40k players in the world. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Remember to keep it classy, folks, and have happy wargaming.